Okay guys, let's get right into the stock market technical analysis. If you're interested in profitable trade ideas, not all of them are profitable, but if you're interested in trade ideas, trade setups in the stock market, follow along, stay tuned, subscribe, and then also give me the like button if you guys are finding value in the content, okay? Let's get right into it. We're gonna keep this video relatively short and we'll just get right to the point. Triple Qs, all right? This is tech. I always start out with tech personally because one, the market cap weighting of the big FANG stocks really does move the market, okay? Where those go, the market goes, all right? So I typically start out with that and put the highest weighting on tech, large cap tech especially, for determining the market read. So we'll start off there. Triple Qs, we've got a trading range, all right? And that's it. Very, very simple right now. We are in a trading range. The support is about 262. We'll call it 263. You can see on this hourly chart all the reactions that we've been really trading in this range since about December 22nd. And then on the top end, resistance is right around 267.50. All right, so I marked it out in green right here. Little spike through right there, kind of a false breakout, and little spike below right here, false breakdown. Very choppy, very whippy. We need to put this range behind us to determine the next direction. Now, one key indication that might help us determine where the next direction is the divergences in the momentum indicators. Bullish divergence here on the RSI and the PPO. Okay, so that tells me we're probably going to break out to the upside. Looks right now we're going down. The Fed just came out with the meeting minutes, so looks like they're selling it back down to the bottom of the range. And again, that's going to be support. So, maybe a trading opportunity there. By the time this video is out, likely it'll be, opportunity will be gone. But until we break the range with a nice definitive break, okay, maybe a daily close or at least a pretty strong impulsive hourly close, a gap up, gap down, some sort of move that tells us where the direction's going, then we're just chopping around, all right? That's all we're doing. So very simple. We'll just, we'll just continue to watch it. Again, I'm leaning towards a rally, and I've talked about my zone, my top rally target for Triple Qs, 279.50. All right, if we break down, then I think 238's in the cards. And going to the daily chart, you'll see 238 once my chart catches up down here. All right, pre-COVID highs is 238 right there, 238.50, we'll call it. Okay, so I've got a top end target and I've got a bottom end target, and we're stuck in a range. So we break, whichever way it breaks is probably where we're going, and that's really it. Okay, if you're gonna trade the markets, you always want to watch the futures because one, this is the area of the pros. The pros are trading futures for the most part, so you definitely want to keep an eye on the NASDAQ futures. And again, here's what I've got on the futures. This is an hourly chart, so smaller time frame. We've got a upward kind of an upward trend to follow. All right, we're hitting support, little break below, but recovery by the end of the day, which is kind of telling. And then we are just continuing to hold that support. Now I know, with the volatility that's going on this morning, and this is kind of delayed, that maybe we're gonna, maybe we'll break this, but until we break that support, then I would just continue to watch this upward trend line. And that's it. No indication that we are going lower, and no indication yet we're going higher. Okay. However, we do have bullish divergence on both momentum indicators telling us that the probability is elevated to the upside. Guys, if you're interested in learning how to read the charts, how to evaluate trade setups, when to take trades, position sizing, analyzing risk-reward ratio, I put a course together. I priced it affordable. A couple years ago, I had overwhelming demand from my subscribers asking me to put it together. So I did, and I priced it originally starting it out at 99 bucks. That price did move up to 150, but I've kept it there at that affordable price. So if you're interested in that, again, I'm not promising day trading riches or anything like that. All I'm promising is good, solid education in the stock market for 150 bucks. I think that's well worth the value that I'm providing. So check it out. Link in the description below. And then finally, I do have a private member group. It's $5 a month, very affordable as well. And that's a way that I can communicate additional trade ideas. I've been in there this morning. I already put out a video with trade setups and trade ideas looking at the industrial stocks. And I put that out there for the private member group. Link in the description below for $5 a month for additional trade ideas. If you're involved in the market, I think that's a good value as well. So check that out. Okay, let's move on. Let's look at Tesla. I know that one's been of interest and people have been asking me about that one. So here's what I got on Tesla. Okay, Tesla daily chart. We have a support line. I've had this one marked out for a while. I have to zoom out to show it, but it's right in here. Okay, if I zoom, let me try to zoom into that time frame. If I zoom in right there, you can see reactions right in there. All right, that was resistance and then it was support. So it just gives us an idea that this is a reflection level where we're likely going to get some sort of a reaction. We had reactions in the past at this key price level, likely going to get reactions in the future. No guarantees, but likely. As I zoom in, there it is. So far, you can see hit that level, bounce, back down at that level, holding that as support. So that's key. All right, this is support as of right now. Going down to the hourly time frame now, you'll see we kind of undercut and made a new lower low right here, and this is kind of key. All right, here's our former low. Here's a new lower low, and yet bullish divergence on the momentum indicator. So I think there's a very good likelihood that Tesla's going to see a rally. Whether we dip down and make a new low, I'm not favoring that, but of course that's possible. I wouldn't give it much room to the downside. All right, anything beyond a marginal low of about 104.50, and this thing's probably going a lot lower. But if it can hold here, either hold these lows or make just a very slight marginal low, then I think there's a good probability we're going to break out of this downward trend line. And this is what I'm watching right here on the hourly chart. There's a trend line, kind of mark it out there in red. And a breakout of that is a buy signal. Now, if we do break out, then we can mark out some key levels. Definitely a level, it looks like, and I have to clean this chart up a little bit, but definitely, yeah, there's probably something right in here. And of course, you got the former highs, which is about 124, it's about 125, probably a little reaction there. And then it does look like there is that key level, big level right here at 183.50. Yeah, we'll just call it 183. All right, you can see that was big support. All right, that gave way. All right, it was support right through here. All right, that gave way. So that would be the final bounce area. If it was going to have a strong rally, it would be all the way up to there. From where we're at right now, depending on, let's say you get the breakout, I'll just take it from there. It's a potential 55% rally roughly. So I like it more to the long side than short. However, no buy signal yet. So again, from me on the hourly chart, breakout of this downward trend line, you can kind of mark it out. I'm starting back here on the Friday, December 9th, and it's just this downward trend line right there. All right, so that's what I got on Tesla. Okay, Newmont Mining. We're just kind of flipping over to gold. I think gold is due for a pullback, here's Newmont Mining. This is the largest gold mining stock, and we're hitting that resistance zone I've had in play. So again, on the daily chart, we have this gap up. The gap started at about 51.42. And then zooming out, there is a key level of resistance about 52. You can see, boom, there's a reaction, there's a reaction, there's a reaction, there's another one. And then we got that gap down here. So we're running into resistance, big resistance, because one, we've got a gap. So there's resistance at the gap fill, which is about, it's roughly around 51.50 or so. Somewhere right in there is the gap fill. You've got that big level on the daily chart, 52.50 is resistance. You got the 200-day moving average overhead. In general, big resistance right in here. Also, potential negative divergence starting to form. Here's the PPO. Not confirmed yet, but you can see it is a divergent high as of right now, but the PPO is pointed up. So you need to see this start to turn down to help confirm that divergence. And then nothing really on the RSI at this point. So it could chop around here for a little while, but I think we're near the end of this rally before we get some sort of a pullback. I don't know exactly where it pulls back to quite yet. Could come all the way down to this 46.75. I don't have a real good tell on it quite yet, but it does look like we're at the area where it makes sense to tighten stops in my mind, or to, just clearly exit a long position. I'm not interested in shorting it yet. Again, the divergences aren't formed yet, and it's still a little early, but I do think that it's definitely in the zone of resistance. And let's look at the dollar. Haven't talked about that one for a while. Dollar futures, okay? On dollar futures, you can see it looks like we're having this little rounding bottom pattern starting to form. It looks like accumulation. The other thing is I'm noticing bullish divergence, okay, right here, that's been forming. So these are lower lows in price, but the divergences are starting to build. So I think, we could dip down a little bit lower. I've got this red trend line here, and this goes on the daily. This goes all the way back. Actually, it's on the weekly, to be honest. This goes all the way back to 2011. You can see support, 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 okay? And then, that's that trend line. So it is a range. It is definitely a strong zone of support that we're in. We might dip a little lower down to the trend line, which is down here at, it's all the way down here at about 90 or 102-ish. But again, close enough to the zone of support where it definitely doesn't make sense to short anything here. And that's really all I have on that one. Hey, check out Lyft. This is decent. If I go to this is an hourly chart here, but if I look at the daily, we'll start at the daily and go down to the hourly. Okay, on the daily chart, bullish falling wedge pattern. Nice, clean wedge, and we're really coming to the apex of the wedge where it's decision time. So usually down when you get down here, things get whippy, but ultimately this is going to make a decision on its next direction. The bullish falling wedge pattern is a bullish pattern that typically breaks out to the upside. We also look for bullish divergences, and sure enough, nice clean divergence. You got divergence from way back here. All right, so each one of these little lows has been divergent low, divergent low. There's more, there's more. It's been building, okay, and that's on the PPO. And here's the RSI. Okay, so bullish divergences, bullish falling wedge, no buy signal. Okay, so if you guys, you know what the buy signal is. If you don't, take my course. I talk about that. But it's definitely a bullish trade setup. And then again, if we rally, then I would look for, some profit targets. It's a very easy chart for the most part because you got this big gap. So a couple targets that I would look for, areas of resistance. First one is right here. Okay, there's a clean level, and that's about 12. Let's call it 12.15. All right, you break above that, and you're likely, you've got kind of a zone of resistance right in about there. And the 200-day moving average, 20.45. So you probably run up, hit the 200, maybe chop around a little bit. Then you got this 20.45. And then the final target would be this gap fill right there at 29.75. And you don't want to wait for the exact gap fill. It's such an obvious level. I think if you get anywhere close to entering into this gap and you get close, you take your profit. At least in my mind, that's what I would be doing. Okay, so those are some targets there. That's definitely a clean setup. No buy signal. All right, guys, that's all I got. Drop a thumbs up on your way out. Leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.